Hello and welcome. To the aim today is to give you a shopping guide to Arrecife. And just so you can orient yourselves, this is the Rambla Medula, which is the inner ring road in Arrecife. And we're looking at the Centro Deportivo, which is the main sports centre. Nice 25-metre pool there, lots of courts and stuff like that. But the reason I've come here first is before we go into Arrecife and I show you some of the shopping that's available around the capital, I wanted to show you the future of shopping in Arrecife, and that is this absolutely vast construction. It's going to be the biggest shopping centre in Lanzarote. It's nearing completion now. It's going to have a supermarket in it, more than 100 shops, parking for I believe up to 1,000 cars, 3 floors and a basement for the parking, and it goes a long way back as well and around the corner. And I think things will change in Lanzarote once this is open. We'll have a lot more of the larger brands here, and some of the brands that are in the town centre now will move out. I don't know when it's going to open. Do you, Julie?
License is valid to March 22.
Okay, so the license is until March 22. That's the building license, so that suggests it's going to open at the beginning of next year. So that's the future. Let's go and have a look at what we've got in the present now. We've walked around the corner just to give you an impression of the size of this place. It's absolutely vast and dwarfs anything else we've got in Lanzarote at the moment, like the Dayland Shopping Centre and the Biosfera Plaza. As you can see. So centre of frame now is Marina Lanzarote in Arrecife. There's the main port, Puerto de los Marmales. Just showing you that so you can orient yourself, and then in the distance there is the Arrecife Grand Hotel. Now this area behind me now is called Polygonal Industrial Altavista. So it's that means Altavista Industrial Estate, so the barrio we're in is Altavista. And none of this was here when we moved to the island, but as you'll see in a bit, there are some cracking shops along here. The first of which I've stopped at is my personal favourite, which is Electrum. And Electrum sells all kinds of electrical goods, household stuff, cookers, air conditioning units, computers. They're an Apple dealer, games consoles, anything electrical you can think of, you can pretty much get at Electrum. Let's walk on a bit. A bit further up from Electrum we've got Ikea, and this is a flat pack furnishing place. So it's a bit like MFI, if you know what that is, if that's even still going. I don't know what Cash Unide is next to it, but Naughty Sir, north and south ahead again, is full of furniture. And what's interesting is with these new places now you get a real choice of furniture to buy, whereas years ago there were perhaps half a dozen small furniture shops which all seem to sell the same thing. And next to Naughty Sir is Ideal, which is a bricolage shop now. That's a hardware store, an ironmonger, so they sell, you know, paint and nails and saws and all that kind of stuff. What they do have in there is a really good lighting section. So they do the Philips Hue system, which I particularly like, and you can see all the lights probably in there now. Massive range of lights. And right next door to that is a Lidl. And it was the first Lidl in Lanzarote, this one. There's one in Puerto del Carmen now as well. Super popular store here. You can't really do all your shopping in it, but they've got some interesting and unusual lines that you never used to find in Lanzarote before. And finally in this line of shops is Ikea, or Ikea as we call it. It was the first of them, although it's the last that we've come to because we started at the other end. This was the shop that started this whole industrial estate, and that opened 10 years ago, Julie?
Or more.
More?
Yeah.
15 years ago. I remember the excitement of having an Ikea here, and as you can see, everything's grown from that original first store. We're now in the barrio of Arghana, and there are two parts to Arghana, Arghana Alta and Arghana Baja, so higher and lower Arghana. Again, so you can orient yourselves, that is the Circunvalación, which is the main ring road, the fast dual carriageway that goes around Arrecife. And here in Arghana we have what I think is the best, well, we think is the best supermarket on the island, Mercadona. Mercadona has the biggest range, and it's the biggest supermarket on the island currently. There are branches, there's another branch in Arrecife, I think there's a branch in Playa Blanca now as well. Behind there is a McDonald's, the only one in Arrecife, and going up on that little building site there is a Burger King, so there'll be the two burger places, one either side. And over on this side of the road is Decathlon, which is the big sports shop, of course. So they sell bikes and sports gear and all kinds of stuff there. I guess most people will know Decathlon. And there's one other place we're going to show you while we're in this area, which is in Arghana Alta, a little further up the road, and we'll head up there now. We're still in Arghana, going up, we're quite close to the hospital now, maybe 300 meters from the hospital, and we're going into Arghana Centro shopping centre. But I wanted to show you these two shops. House is quite a good quirky housey type shop, and Home marked there is one of those Chinese run shops which has almost everything you can think of under the sun in it. And this is the commercial centre, Arghana Centro. And I'll just take you inside quickly to show you what's here. The hospital is the other side of those buildings there. So we've got quite a nice cafe. A libreria, so they sell books and paper and stationery and stuff like that. There's a whole downstairs section which is filled by Optimus, and Optimus are one of those kind of hybrid stores. They do hardware, DIY tools, paint, barbecues, garden stuff, garden furniture and so on. We also have a couple of clothes shops, an impressive musical shop called Panchito, where they sell guitars and instruments and all kinds of music related stuff. There's a Toy Planet here, a shoe shop, and another electrical store which is Wharton. So that's Arghana Centro, right by the hospital. And here we are in the city centre, and there are car parks at Chaco San Ginés. There's a multi-storey car park right near the main shopping street, Calle León y Castillo. You could even park in the Marina Lanzarote, but I would recommend for your first visit to park underneath the Arrecife Grand Hotel, which is where we are right now. And also, if you're coming into town from where we're looking at now, from the bus station, the Intercambiador, you walk along the street to here. So that there's a multi-storey underneath the Arrecife Grand. It's not expensive. I can't remember how much it is. We've just put our car in it. And when you come up the stairs from here. The beauty of parking underneath the hotel is that it's so easy to find because it's the only tall building in Arrecife. So coming out of the car park, we turned right, due east, and walked along the seafront promenade here for almost exactly 500 meters, and you go past the bandstand which you've just seen, and the castle out there, and the Puente de Bolas, which is the bridge out to it. And once you get to that, you can turn left and walk up León y Castillo, which is the main shopping street here in the centre of Arrecife. vessel out to sea there, which is quite interesting. I haven't seen anything that large that close before. And we'll head up the shopping street now. So here we are now. This being the town centre, doesn't have particularly big shops, but it does have a lot of them. They're not all in this main street though, so it's well worth planning to have a bit of time here so you can dive up all these smaller side streets like this one, and in many of them you'll find little gems of tapas bars and restaurants. All the banks have places here, as you can imagine. This is the original ayuntamiento, called La Casa Amaria, the yellow house. There's another street which leads through to the church with loads and loads of tapas bars in it. This cafe coming up does some of the best churros y chocolate that you'll find on the island. And these streets I'm turning to on my right all lead eventually to Chaco San Ginés. So if after your shopping you fancy some lunch or an early supper, that's a fabulous place to go. And all along here you've got these lovely trees that provide shade for the people in the cafes. In this turning on the left you've got Boulevard Spinola, which is where the multi-storey car park is, and also where you'll find quite a few shops, including probably the best bookshop on the island. And this is a very small department store that's got a few levels joined together by escalator, clothing and stuff like that. We don't have to wear masks in the street here, but a lot of people choose to in Arrecife. As long as you can keep 1.5 meters away from other people, there's no requirement, but as you've probably seen, a lot of people do choose to wear them when they're in the city. So there you go, the rest of León y Castillo carries on pretty much in the same vein. So wander up this main street and then go down the alleyways and explore, and you'll find some really interesting, unusual and quirky shops. Just to confuse you, everyone knows this as Calle Real, the Royal Street, but the official name is León y Castillo. So there you go from Arrecife. Hope you enjoyed that little guide to shopping in Arrecife these days. Have a great weekend.